Hello Reborners, my name is Karen and this is Making Dolls with Karen. We're back with Wendy. She's had her bake. She's had 2 layers of 05. She's ready to go to the next level now and get some warm blush. She's looking pretty good. I'm really liking the way her face looks. All those little purple highlights I put on there are showing up really well, and she's going to look, I think, very good at the end. I've never done a Wendy before, so this is my first time. Why is this purple pencil out? I can't even imagine. I must have wrote something with it because I certainly didn't put any purple pencil on my doll. Okay, here we go. And be careful getting it on your fingers because when you touch your doll, you make a big fingerprint in paint color. Okay, let's see. I need some sponges for this color. This is not a good way to keep your sponges, by the way. You have to dig around for them, and it's no fun. It seems like whatever color you're looking for, you find every other color except that one. I'm just gonna have to get some more sponges. This one is too dirty. It's just too dirty. I mean, I could use it probably, but I don't want to. I'll get one of these and one of these cheaper ones. These really dense ones are great for pouncing the paint back off. They're no good for pouncing it on, but they work good for pouncing it off. Anyway, there we go. All right, now we're ready. Don't forget, every time you put your brush in your paint, you have to mix it. It separates very rapidly. And you don't want to have to deal with that. Well, it's too light here and too dark there thing you're going to get if it separates. Okay, we're just going to paint with the brush on her eyes and her nose, around her nose, inside of her nose, her mouth, inside her mouth. All these little crevices underneath her lips and her chin, her ears, all the places that we think a sponge might not can reach. It might could, but then again it might not. So, well, and don't touch their face to the jar. Okay. Anyway, here we go. We're going to sponge all of these places again because we want to get in as many places as possible the sponge effect. The brush effect is not all that attractive, and so just in case it does reach a lot of those places, we do sponge it again. While it's still very, very wet, you're not adding additional paint, you're just giving it the sponge effect. And then once we're finished putting it all on like this, we are going to sponge it off. All the excess wet and color, anywhere it looks puddly or super wet, we just really pounce every area, at least some, because we need to get a lot of that paint residue that's down in those cracks and crevices out, or she'll look dirty. They start to look crusty and dirty in those little areas. Inside the ears is one of them, behind the ears, even on the just flat surfaces of the head, you know, the regular open areas that don't have eyes or nose or mouth. It can have a puddle too, and we don't want that at all on our doll. It's just taking some of it off. It really doesn't take that much off, even though my sponges look very dirty a lot of times. It's because I use them over and over again. Now we're going to do this one as well. And if you have a stubborn spot you can't seem to get the puddle out of, just use your brush. It'll go down real close into the eye areas of these little tiny, tiny crevices. If you can't get your sponge down in there to get out that excess, the brush works really great for that. We're going to put 2 coats of this on her, so we're going to have to let her dry a bit. That's why I pounce them a lot, because I want to make sure all the excess wet is off of them. We don't want to have to wait an excessive amount of time for them to dry. And if you just really are in a hurry, you can use your heat gun. Usually though, by the time I get finished doing all the limbs, the head is already pretty much dry. It's dry enough to add another layer. Now, if you want a cleaner finish, you're going to need to heat it and dry it completely with the heat gun. It takes 2 to 3 minutes probably, maximum of 5 maybe. But it doesn't give them that really, really deep down dry, that deep down, what you'd call heat set. It no way cures the paint, so they're not deep down hot. So only the surface of the doll is hot, so it dries very quick. I mean, cools very quickly. So you can get back to painting much, much quicker than if you have to, you know, with my oven anyway. I don't know what you have to do to your oven, but I have to set mine on 12 minutes because otherwise it doesn't even reach anywhere close. It doesn't maintain the temperature for long enough. So it's 12 minutes. And they're just very, 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 very hot. Deep, deep inside hot. And they have to cool for like 20 minutes or something. That you want them to be room temperature, not hot, you know. And so you have to give them plenty time to actually cool. And that takes a long time too. So using the heat gun is much, much faster, even if you took the whole 5 minutes. You're going, well, it's only 8 minutes, so that's just only 3 more minutes. But really, it's not. I'm comparing the 5 minutes to 12 minutes. And then I'm also figuring in the cooling time. And all that takes a lot longer than just heating them a bit with the heat gun. And you can safely put another coat on top of them and not worry about it looking bad. That's what I do a lot of times. Sometimes if I don't have, I have something else I need to be doing, I'll just let them sit on the table until they're dry, and then I'll come back, because I do make some dolls offline. Y'all don't see me making them. And so I'll just leave them sitting on the table because, well, I'm not fixing to make another video for one thing. And so I can do that. And and so they just sit there and dry on the table. And then I'll come back in about 10 minutes after I'm finished dressing a doll or posting a doll or whatever I'm doing. It's always doll related almost, unless I have a lot of housework or something that day. And then I'll be doing that, like laundry or something I need to do. And but usually I, especially if I'm on camera and I'm trying to get to the next layer quicker, I'll just heat them with the heat gun. And sometimes I just choose not to put a second coat because, well, I think they just look good enough. And it's just depends on the doll, the way they're taking color, all that stuff. And you'd be surprised from doll to doll how different they take color. Every doll doesn't take, you can be using the exact same color on them, and they're just not taking it well. And you're going, they're still really, really pale. And you're going, I think I need another coat. But then other dolls are going, wow, that one coat really did it, And it's just different because vinyls are different. Even with, I wouldn't say if you ordered 2 kits of the same doll together that the vinyl would be any different, but 2 different kits. I ordered 3 or 4 kits yesterday because Bountiful Baby had them on such a wonderful sale. One of them was Maddox. You can get all the Maggies you want, but getting Maddox he's the male version of the Maggie. She's a full body vinyl doll, anatomically correct and all that stuff. And Maddox is the boy. They're the exact same doll, except the torso is different. They have a torso. And you can hardly ever get a Maddox, but you can get all the Maggies you want. Maggie's just always there. But Maddox was discontinued, and he was reran in that new batch of discontinued kits. They reran, and he's hard to get. He's really expensive. They wanted like $79 for his kit, which is out of my league. I don't pay that much for kits. Uh, I buy them on sale when they're on sale, and I get them for a cheaper price. And then I just happened to just go to Bountiful Baby, and I saw that Maddox was on sale for $29. So of course I had to have them, and I wanted a precious gift anyway. I've been wanting that kit. Out of all the the reruns of the artist kits that they did, there were a few that I really liked, and Precious Gift is one of them. I don't really know if it's supposed to be a boy or a girl. Uh, they just make it look like a freshly born baby, and you can't really tell if it's a boy or a girl. I mean, it's still wet and everything looking in the picture, like it just was born. And and so I always make it a girl, because I just think dolls are supposed to be girls, really. Some of them are boys. They're like Logan and Christopher. It's obvious that they're boys, and so I make them boys. But if it isn't obvious to me, they're usually a girl. Sometimes not, like Neve. Uh, anyway, I didn't even know. I've never ever heard of that name. It's Heaven spelled backwards. And I was unsure if it was a boy or a girl. And one of my viewers told me, oh, it's a girl's name. And I go, well, okay, it must be a girl. Then every one I've ever made, I made into a boy. Because to me, I saw boy. I didn't know. You know, it's something about knowing it's supposed to be a girl or it's supposed to be a boy that makes you go, yeah, that's a girl in your mind. And, but not knowing, you sometimes just, you know, decide on your own, well, it looks like a boy. And so I decided that that one looked like a boy. And then I found out, oh, it's a girl's name. It's supposed to be a girl. It's not a real born, it's an artist kit, but still, I like that kit. It has nice limbs. If you ever want nice limbs to change around on your doll, Neve has Naomi limbs, and they're just nice. And Naomi was a doll they had a while back. She was a limited edition with the numbered COA, and of course she sold out long ago. I have 3 or 4 Naomis though, and anyway, she had nice limbs. They were full, and you don't much see artist kits with full limbs. Most of the time they're 3/4, at least the ones Bountiful Baby makes. And that's where I get 99.9% of my doll kits. I have bought some from individuals, but I'm usually sadly disappointed in some of them. They'll either be dirty, or they'll stink, or they'll be mashed up. That's where I got my candy kit that ended up, the head got a fissure in it. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do about that. Do I want to just throw it out? Do I want to try to fix it? What do I want to do? I don't know. And I'm hoping, I think I ordered another candy kit. I think that probably she won't have that problem. This one was an older candy kit. I'm going to look at my order real quick and see what I ordered while she's having a moment to dry there. She was one of the older kits from back before they discontinued them. And I know because her bag was just degraded so bad, it had splits all down it. And so, yeah, they're still having these same kits. They got Maddox, Sweetie, Rose, Charla, Blaze, Ireland, Angel. She's also a full body doll. $29. Charles Awake, Candy, Kimber, Kaya, Lucy, Miles, Tracy, and Isabel is sold out. She was $19.97. I wish I'd have got her. I didn't know she was on sale yet until she was already sold out. But anyway, they now sent. They didn't used to do this, but they do it now. They send me an email every time they update their dolls. Yeah, here's my order. I got Lane, Precious Gift, Candy, Maddox, and it was $109. I think that's pretty good. So, yeah, I try to get my kits like that because I can't really afford to get them otherwise. Uh, I just I just live on Social Security, and if I don't sell a doll for a while, I'm having a crunch of money, and so I'm gearing up for the Christmas season. I'm making as many dolls as I can, some on camera, some off camera, just to be doing it. Sometimes I'm just too tired to talk, but I think I can put a layer of paint on a doll. Every layer gets you closer and closer to having it finished. So even if you can't finish it in the same day, you can pick it up the next day and be that much ahead because you started it last night. And it makes a difference. And sometimes I'll start another doll. Well, this one's baking or something. When she comes out this time, she'll only really have one more color. It's the blush, and by the time I finish her, I could have another doll's enhancements already done. See, so sometimes I do that. I'll start another doll before this one's finished. I don't post it until I get this one finished because, well, you know, it makes the videos be mixed up. And I like to keep them together so at least, you know, they're close to each other. Sometimes they don't post correctly. They'll post out of order. Like I'll download 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, and they'll post 1, 3, 5, 2. You know, I don't know why it does that, because I downloaded them in order. Maybe it has something to do with the length of it or something. I don't know. But they get out of order sometimes. But they're at least close together. I don't want to have other videos like start another doll and have 2 Jasmines and 1 Spencer and then Wendy and then back to Jasmine. It's too confusing for the people watching the videos. And I always put them on a playlist too so that they can be, like, if you want to see the whole series of Wendy, you can just go to the Wendy playlist and they'll play in order, I think. I think they will. I'm not sure. I used to have a person who posted my videos for me. I had an editor, and it was one of my sister's grandchildren, and he's a whiz with computers and stuff. And he would post my videos, and he told me that if they were on a playlist, they'd play in order. So I just took him at his word. I don't really know. Oh, that's looking pretty good. Wendy's looking pretty good. Probably I'm only going to do 1 coat of blush though, because I've been a little dissatisfied with the quality of the way the doll looks in the face when you do 2 coats of blush. The blush is much harsher looking to me than any of the other colors because it's a color I have to mix because they no longer have a decent color for blush. So you have to take one of their colors and vamp it up a little. And so I do that, and it turns out there's probably much too much paint in the mix. I don't know, but it starts to look funny, and I don't like the way it looks, especially on their cheeks. After you've put blush on their cheeks at the beginning, and then you put all the other colors of paint on them, and then you turn around and you put 2 coats of blush all over their whole entire face, it sometimes turns out to be a little much. And so I've decided 1 coat is probably enough unless the doll is just pale. Now if it's super pale, I'll probably put 2, but they're not usually that pale. I just was trying to make a darker doll, and they're sure enough darker, but I'm not satisfied with the quality of their paint job. So I'm going back to 1 coat of blush, long story short. Perhaps if I baked in between, I would have a better result, but okay, I'm turning lazy, I guess. I enjoy making dolls, but I don't enjoy the baking part. It is annoying to have to wait that long. And I thought, that's why I was toying around for a while with some air dry. I thought it would be quicker, but it's really not. because you have to wait for it to dry still. And then on top of that, uh, you have to give it some buffer time in between some of them layers, or it just won't work out right. You have to now wait 24 hours before you do any more and stuff like that. It's like weird. I don't like air dry at all. I'm not trying to bash anybody's art. Everybody has a right to do whatever art they want. But I'm just saying that if you do air dry, I think, and this is only my opinion, and I only tried 2 different kinds of air dry. One was the little bottles of craft paint, acrylic craft paint you can buy, and it was a fiasco. I'm telling you, it was laughable. I deleted the video because I really didn't want anybody watching it. It was ridiculous. Anyway, and then the other one was Ultimate Fusion. I thought, well, that must be the top of the line, but I really don't know if there's one better. Those are the only 2 I tried, a low-end one and a high-end one, and they both came out with mixed results that I didn't like. And the problem with the crafty paint was it was awful. It didn't cover good. It wasn't even. I don't know. I just didn't like it. And then the problem with the Ultimate Fusion, oh, it made a beautiful, beautiful doll, but you couldn't get the shiny out of it. And I did all the things they said to do, like putting the shine remover in the paint and all that stuff, all the way down to putting layers of matte sealer on the doll to keep it from being shiny. Nothing worked. I could not get the shine out of that doll. Nothing would work. And so that beautiful doll got stripped and done with heat set. It made the doll so pretty, though. The doll just looked wonderful, but it was just too shiny. It was shiny, shiny, and I just didn't like it, so I stripped it. And not only that, I found that sorry, I find that I was thirsty. Not only that, I found that it comes off too easy. I mean, it comes off with alcohol, for heaven's sakes. And that means if you have let's say a girl who wants to play with the doll, even if it's not her doll, she might play with it. She might take a baby wipe and go, I'm going to change its diaper, I'm going to wash it up. It's normal. My friends made one for her granddaughter, and that's what she did. She made an air dry doll, and her granddaughter took a baby wipe and wiped the doll with the baby wipe, and the paint came off. And I guess there was alcohol in the baby wipe. I don't know. I know some brands do have alcohol in them, but I don't know what other things might take the paint off. I have no idea. And it's possible some other ingredient took the paint off. I don't know. But she said she thought it was alcohol. Anyway, she switched because of that. Because that happened, she decided it came off too easy also. And if you are afraid of doing heat set because you're afraid of the fumes or something, you can always just do what I do. I put my oven outside on the porch, and I run a cord right through the door. and I bake out there. If you think it's going to take too much of your time or damage the doll, I'm here to tell you, I've only ever damaged 1 or 2 dolls, I think. Trey busted open, but he was my test kit, and I had stripped him so many times, and he had been heated beyond what any doll should ever be heated. And he finally just couldn't take it anymore, and he busted open. I waited too long to try to save him. I always used to try to save my test kit. I go, well, I've probably extended the use of this test kit as far as I can extend it. I'm going to now reborn it into a doll and try to save it. I used to do that. And it turned out I couldn't save Trey because he busted open. I mean, he busted wide open. His head was just open, And then there was Lucy, which I melted because I forgot. I actually only just pushed the temperature button, and when you push it, 350 comes up. And if you don't change it to another setting, 350 is what you're going to have. And I just didn't, I absentmindedly didn't change it. And I baked her for at 350. I started smelling a weird smell. And when I went and looked, she was bubbled up. Her head was odd, melted shaped, and she had lots of, you know how when you get a sunburn, you get those blisters? Well, she had something that looked like blisters on her, and it was where her vinyl actually bubbled up. And there was no saving that. I mean, you couldn't have fixed that no kind of way. And so she was a loss. Only her head did it, though. Her limbs were fine. I saved her limbs. I always save the limbs if I mess up the head some kind of way like that. Then I save the limbs because you never know when you're going to need a set of limbs. And you never know when you want to just change limbs on a doll because you don't like the limbs that came with the doll. And having spare limbs is always, I've had to send 2 or 3 times, send my friend a set of limbs because she messed up some limbs she had or something. And I said, oh, don't worry, I got limbs, you know. And I just made a box of doll parts. Well, it's got 3 kits in it. One's a kit I don't even know the name of. And the other 2 are those little Emma kits that Bountiful Baby had. They're little tiny dolls. And I didn't want to reborn dolls that little. I got them in a group sale. The lady wouldn't break up the set, so I had to take those as well. And so I put a lot of those extra limbs and things. And there's, I think, a torso from Maggie. I made my Maggie without a torso because I don't like the torso. I only make them because other people like them. And that's what I'm going to do with Maddox too. I'm going to make his torso, but I'm not putting it on him. They can have the torso, but they won't be getting it on the doll because they can struggle to get that thing on. And that thing is impossible to get on. You need 8 arms to do it, literally. Okay, she is painted again. That's 2 coats. She's ready to go in the oven for her next bake. And we'll be back when she is finished and we will see how oh, I'm going to do her lips and nails again. I forgot last time. I was going, oh man, I should have done her lips and nails. But she was already hot by the time I remembered it. And I didn't want to take her back out hot and then bake her again. It's just, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do them now. She needs another coat, and I need to take off my glasses to do this. I really, really need to get to the eye doctor. And I need to get me new glasses. My insurance will pay for them. It's just I can't get there to get them. Got to have an eye exam and all that. And they just, you know, I can't get to the eye doctor that will take my insurance. In my small town, there aren't any. Our Walmart doesn't have the eye care center. Covington, the next city over, does. And I can't get there because the little bus I ride is for elderly people and disabled people. And they only take you within your own county. And over in the next county, that's where I need to go. And even when I lived over there in Tipton County, I couldn't get to it. I had no way to go. And they didn't have any transportation like they do here for elderly people in Tipton County. It's ridiculous. It's a bigger county and everything. You'd think they'd have more things, but they don't. And that's one reason I wanted to come back to Lauderdale County, because of the rides. You need a ride, you can get a ride. They'll take you almost anywhere. They won't take you to visit a relative or something, and they won't take you to sightsee or out to dinner. But anywhere else, if you want to get your hair fixed, if you want to buy clothes, if you want to, I don't know, anywhere you want to go pretty much. It's a great service, and The state funds it, so it's free to writers. Ooh, that looks good. Her lips look very good. I like the color of them and the smoothness of them. So we're going to put her down and we're going to do her fingers and her toes. So when we come back, all we have to do is, I try to always do this. I want this to be the last enhancements I have to do, because when we come back, I want to just put the blush on her and be done. It's a little easier that way. My hands are so shaky today. Having a little bit trouble staying in the nail area with the paintbrush. My hands just don't want to cooperate. A lot of times I'm propping my hand against my other hand to try to steady it a little more as I'm painting. This is why I quit tipping nails, because I can't hardly do it. My hands are so shaky. I was kind of liking the way it looked though, but it started to look messy when I couldn't keep my hands from shaking. Yep. She's gonna look good, I think. We'll check her nails one more time after her next coat of paint to make sure they don't need touching up again, but probably they won't. They look pretty good now. Her palm of her hand looks kind of dirty. Let me brush that a little. There we go, that's better. Okay. She's getting a very nice skin color too. Once she gets her blush, she'll look real good, I think. I just have to brush her foot too a little bit. I'm just not liking that dirty look. Okay, one more. And we're done. We'll get her in for another bake. And I have dolls. I mean like 6 or 7 to put together today. Wendy will not be one of them because she doesn't even have glue yet. And I have one in the bedroom that I'm rooting. I started it last night, but I haven't finished her yet. So they won't be part of it. But I have quite a few that do need putting together. And I'll try to make another reveal video. People seem to like those. They get lots and lots of views. So that's the way I do it now, instead of coming back and going, okay, this is what she looks like, and it's like 2 minutes. I just reveal a bunch of dolls at one time in a short. Anyway, we're going to get her back in the oven and get her baked again, and we'll come back for her final coat. So I'd like to remind everybody to please like, subscribe, and share, and happy reborning.